Good morning, everyone. So today we're going to go through assignment one, and this is your support session for that. So what we will cover today is just a general overview of the assignment, the requirements of the assignment, and what you need to put together to submit it. So on my screen now, you see assignment one. This has been uploaded onto ARC for you. It's under formative assessment one in that folder. And then I need you to just take note that it is assignment one that you're working on, and it should cover learning units 1 to 5. Okay, so please take note of the mark allocation and the instructions up front. Here, you may not copy material from any source, even if you referenced it. You may not have 10% or more of direct quotes. This assignment doesn't necessarily require direct quotes, so try and keep it to a minimum. Please save a copy of the assignment once you are done. In the event that something does happen to it, at least you have a copy to then give us. It must be typed. It's an individual assignment. So just lay out your assignment nicely. Make sure that you provide a reference page and then just the general structure of the assignment. So you will do it on Word or whatever app that you choose to type on. Make sure that you have a cover page with your name, your student number, the module clearly stated, the date and your lecturer's name. Then please have a contents page and indicate page numbers on your assignment. All right. Lay it out quite nicely where you have your introduction, you have all your questions 1 to 5. All the sub questions must be numbered and correspond with the assignment so that it's easy for us to pick up your answers for the questions. Try to start each question on a new page, end with the conclusion, and a full reference page. Okay, you will be required to in-text reference as well as provide a full reference page, and we follow IE Harvard. Okay, so please make use of the library for support services as well as the reference guide. Make sure that you paraphrase your work because it does go through Turnitin, so you don't want to pick up any copying. And please keep AI usage to a minimum. Okay. You will see that you do have a rubric that indicates the plagiarism or referencing errors and the penalties for that. So just try to please keep it to a minimum, reference where you need to, and provide us with a full reference page. It's also important that you use credible sources. So use academic content, journals, articles. Try to use databases like Google Scholar to get accurate information. Sources like Wikipedia, any blogs that people can go and comment on that's not academically credited is not suitable to be used. Okay, so you are provided with a case study, and this case study refers to Burn to Beauty. Wherever, unless it's noted otherwise, you're going to base all your responses to the questions based on the case study. So please read this case study carefully and remember to link your theory to the case study where required. So essentially, this case study is about Kuda, who upcycles cool drink bottles and wrappers and creates a business out of that. Okay, this is a real story, and you can read more about it using the links that are provided to you. Okay, so in essence, question one, which we spoke about yesterday in our support session, focuses on learning unit 1 of your textbook. Important things that you need to remember here is the 5 factors of production. So remember, when we spoke about the 5 factors of production, we spoke about human resources, capital, entrepreneurship, and knowledge creation. Remember that it is not sufficient to just list them. You have to be able to explain them, and then you've got to link them to the case study. Okay. You need to state whether Kuda's business is formal or informal. Remember, your formal businesses are businesses that are registered and pay towards and contribute towards the GDP, while your informal businesses are more your vendors and traders. Unless the case study states that this is a formal or informal business, you're going to have to look for those hints, right? And then just important to remember from learning unit 1 is the type of economies that we have. four types: your traditional, your command, your market, and your mixed. The case study or the assignment requires you to speak about a command economy. So you're going to explain that, all right? And you're going to speak about who owns majority of the resources, who owns the businesses, and how does that then affect businesses. You are asked to give your opinion as to whether you think Kuda would want to operate her business in this type of economic system. You need to justify your answer. So if you are saying yes, why are you saying yes? Um, there's a lot of government influence in a command system. Do you think that will be beneficial? If you are saying no, then you must justify your answer, such as in a command system, supply and demand doesn't dictate price, and so on and so forth. Please be guided by the marking or the score that you will receive. So if you see for question 1, it's 10 marks, and it asks you to briefly discuss the 5 factors of production as applicable to the case study. So there you're going to get 1 mark for listing the factors of production and 1 mark for discussing each of them, right? If you look at 1.2, you are asked to indicate whether it's informal or formal. 1 mark for listing informal or formal, and then 4 marks for explaining why and motivating from the case study. So please be guided as to how much you need to write and the points that you need to provide for each question. Question 2 is based on learning unit 2 from your guide and your textbook. And the important things that you need to remember here from learning unit 2 is the importance of a business plan. Remember, a business plan allows for you to assess your ideas or your opportunity. It lays everything out for you so you have a good idea of your chance of success. It's used to gain funding from shareholders or stakeholders. It clearly depicts the management style for your business. It attracts investment. And it's an action plan that an entrepreneur can use. Okay. You also need to remember that entrepreneurs are responsible for value creation in a sense that they use, they sort of develop and create ideas that nobody else can. They then create businesses, they contribute to the GDP, the growth of the economy, and they provide jobs, right? And then you also need to remember from Learning Unit 2 that innovation is about creating things and using things in a new way. Again, I'm going to remind you that when you use your textbook as a basis, it cannot be copied and pasted from your textbook, and your assignment is very practical in nature, so you need to take that information and apply it to the case study provided. Question 3 refers to Learning Unit 3 and Chapter 3 of your textbook. Things that you need to remember here is the type of business formats that are available, which is your sole proprietor, your partnership, CC, private and public companies, trusts, and close cooperatives. Please remember from last night's session that when you are asked to recommend a new type of business or a business format, you cannot recommend CCs any longer because they cannot be registered. All right. So if you feel that this is suited to a CC, rather look at a partnership instead. Okay, you will also need to go through the different types of products that we have. And remember, it's durable products, semi-durable, and services. And you would need to explain them and link them to the case study and decide which type Kuda now manufactures. Okay, there is a note here that says you may not copy and paste or use examples from your textbook. So again, use your textbook as a foundation for your knowledge and then try to apply it to the case study. And also remember that an assignment requires you to do additional research. So you're going to have to list other academic sources. So please go up and read on it. Also from Learning Unit 3, you're going to have to remember a vision and mission statement. Remember, a vision statement is a long-term goal for your business. It's where your business ultimately wants to be. And your mission statement is smaller goals as to how your business is going to get there. So we always say the vision is the destination and your mission is your direction. It tells you how you're going to achieve your mission statement. Question 4 links to learning unit 4 from your guide and chapter 4 from your textbook. And things here you're going to have to remember is the different levels of management. So your lower, middle, and top management. The skills that each level uses. So remember, top management is responsible for goal setting and strategic vision, and they use conceptual skills. Your middle management is responsible for leading out the goals from top management, and they take care of departments. So they use a lot of interpersonal skills because they take the needs from lower management to top management, and they are sort of in the middle engaging with both. So a lot of interpersonal human relations. And then your lower level managers require a lot of technical skills because they are actually doing the work and supervising the staff at the bottom. Okay. So please remember that you need to link it to the case study when you answer. And you'll also need to read up about the evolution of South African or African management. Remember, there were 3 phases. So please use your textbook, but there again, you're going to have to do additional research. Question 5 links to learning Unit 5 and Chapter 5 of your textbook. And here you are required to write an essay. Please note that there is a format for an essay, so you have to write in an academic tone, have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Use a few academic sources. They are saying 3, but you would need to use a bit more to adequately answer this. And they've given you a word count of 700 to 900 words. Try to keep in between that. And then there is a marking rubric that helps you evaluate your essay so that you are happy with it before you submit your assignment. Okay, what I need you to remember is that you write your introduction and then you have your body. Please don't write the heading body. You just continue after your introduction and then you have your conclusion. Okay. From learning unit 5, you're going to have to remember what is planning. So planning is setting out all our goals so that we can go about achieving it. And you're going to have to remember the planning process, okay, which is step 1 to 6, establishing a goal, developing alternate plans, evaluating alternate plans, then selecting the best plan, implementing the plan, and evaluating and starting back at step 1. So from last night's session where I said most of the processes in management don't have a start and an end and it's continuous, similarly, the planning process is the same. So in step 1, we establish a goal. We decide what we need to achieve, what is our aim. And then in step 2, we start to develop alternate plans. So a few plans that we can take to reach our goal. Okay, different ways that we can get there. In step 3, we evaluate each of those plans that we had set out, and we now look at the opportunities and the cost involved with each one. What are the limitations of it? And then in step 4, we select the best plan to move forward. We then implement that plan. So we start trying to achieve the goal through that plan. And then we evaluate what we've done and any sort of mishaps or any negative aspects, we then start the planning process again, where we establish a new goal, we develop alternate plans, and we go throughout the process like that. Okay. Please remember there are 2 parts to question 5. There is a statement which you have to either agree with. So it says, if you don't know where you are going, you might wind up someplace else. All right. And that's by Yogi Berra. So through that essay, you have to depict the planning process. You've got to use a business example to explain it. Okay. So you can select any business that you give an example for the planning process. And then you've got to indicate whether you agree or not with the statement. So ultimately, you'll have your introduction. Then in the body, you will address the planning process. Please remember to write in paragraphs. So you'll have step 1, what it is, a definition, a theory example of what it is, a definition, and then use a business example and link it to that for each step, and then end with a conclusion. Okay, so I'll give you a practical example. Obviously, yours will be more in depth of how you can apply it. So if I look at McDonald's, if step 1 is establishing a goal, it would be to create a new product line, a new burger. Step 2 will be developing alternate plans. So I can create a burger on the lower end of the menu. I can create a premium burger. I can create a burger on the kiddies menu. Okay. Then I evaluate each of that plan and I select the best one, which is perhaps creating a premium burger. I then go about implementing that plan and evaluating it. So make sure that you choose a business and you link each step with an example of that business. Right, your assignment is out of 100. When you are done with your assignment, please create a reference page. Okay, we use the IIE Harvard Referencing Guide, and remember your assignment goes to Turnitin. The due date is set for the 4th of April, but please check your PAS for continuous updates of that. And remember that your assignment needs to be on ARC, on time, in order to be marked. As usual, you may contact me by email or WhatsApp if you have any queries while you're going through this assignment, and I wish you all the best. Take care.